We shall not win the elections of 2026 if we don't select a leader and go for a general conference before the end of this very December. This is what the former Patriotic Front Secretary General Davies Mwila told me in an exclusive interview. He also revealed to me that he doesn't speak with Material Member of Parliament Mwaila because he sold the party to the UPND. He also revealed to me that Honorable Given Lubinda can never be president of Zambia because he is not Zambian. Welcome to this special interview. My name is Andrew Mwansa. Former Patriotic Front Secretary General Honorable Davies Mwila, thank you so much for making time to be with us tonight on this day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Allow me to start from the top. When you lost elections in 2021, part of what began to circulate is what you had said whilst you were in power. You mentioned that we must by all costs win the elections because if we do, we shall be arrested. Others have described you as a prophet because this is exactly what is happening. Former ministers that belong to your party, the Patriotic Front, are now serving jail sentence. Let's begin from what you meant when you said you'd be arrested. Was it because you knew that your party ministers or your party members had committed crimes?
Not at all. Yes, I said what I said, in that we have to look at where we are coming from. You will recall that late President Keke, when he left office in 1991, President Chiluba took over office, and you remember what happened to him, the way the state came in to persecute him. From there, Chiluba also left office, and President Mwansa harassed President Chiluba. From there, Chiluba left office. It was Mwansa. Mwansa left, he died. After that, it was Sata. Sata also, you saw what he treated the Rupia and Banda. So it has been a trend. So when you are in power, especially in Zambia, you should know that when you leave office, you have to face some consequences. So I knew that once we lose power, we expect such things to happen to us. And that's what has been happening. And I hope that that trend will not continue. Because once UPND leaves office, that's why you've seen that our colleagues, the UPND, they are so jittery. They don't want to leave office because they know the consequences that maybe we may be mistreated the way we've mistreated our colleagues. Look at the former ministers who are in prison. Yes, there are many. So I think they are also jittery that can happen to them.
They can happen to them.
But I hope that trend will not continue.
So it had nothing to do with you knowing the fact that you as a Patriotic Front were committing atrocities?
No. It's what we've gone through as a country from 1991. We've seen how former leaders have suffered. You get my point. So I knew as Secretary General that if we don't work hard to win power, we expect also such things to happen. And exactly that's what is happening.
Do you see the arrests as prosecution or as persecution?
No, I will not say that some have committed offenses, but some have not. It's persecution, political persecution.
It's political persecution.
Of course. Because I'll give you one example on Bomani Lusambo. He worked as minister, and before he became minister, obviously he was doing other things. But when we left office, the government has grabbed everything from him. So are you saying that he never saved any money to buy property? So that's one example I am giving.
Mm.
Yeah.
were you shocked that you had lost power in 2021 as Patriotic Front?
No. When you're bored, you expect that one day you will die. Even when you are in power, you should expect that one day you will leave office. So some of us, we prepare ourselves for anything, because even you are in employment, you should know that one day you leave employment. So even our colleagues, the UPND, they should not expect that they will be there forever. One day they will leave. Even next year they can leave. You get my point? Depending on their performance, because they are not performing well. So we expect them to leave office the way we left.
The reason I asked that question was because it appears to most of you that the elections of 2021 were guaranteed, for the Patriotic Front, and that it was too early for you as PF to only have served for 10 years to leave office. Did you at least, think that yes, we'll leave office one day, but not in 2021?
First and foremost, as the Secretary General of the party at that time, I didn't know that we were going to leave office. But I knew that one day we will leave office, but not in 2021.
Why not in 2021?
We performed. We did all the roads, especially on infrastructure development. We did very well. The price of minimum was high, but not the way it is now. Even the fuel price, even the exchange rate. So you find that PF, actually, we did better. Actually, we did better than the UPND.
Did you think at some point you had lost touch with reality as a Patriotic Front, thinking that the people are impressed with the roads, the people are impressed with the economic performance, yet you had lost touch with reality on the ground?
That's why we were sure that we were going to win. We didn't know that we were going to lose. So when the results were announced, we were all shocked. Actually, the day when they were counting, around 21, 22 hours, we saw how the results were coming from Chirirabombwe, Chingola, and the difference. We realized that power has gone. So we didn't expect that we would lose power. Even our colleagues, the way they are behaving, when you are in government, you may think that one day you will not leave. But looking at the way they are going, I expect them to leave next year.
Next year?
Yes.
Let's talk about the current state of the Patriotic Front. You lose power in 2021. President Edgar Lungu then makes a decision to step away, from active politics. And before he comes into to take over, his party, the Patriotic Front, Mwaila rises to hold a general conference that he was elected, which elected him as president of the Patriotic Front. Then confusion now begins in the Patriotic Front, where now those factions of the PF, those that had documents and those that had the party, structures. Was this for you as PF a defining moment, as a
First,
party?
when President Edgar Lungu announced his retirement, Honorable Given Mwila started acting. And at that time, we decided that we go to the General Conference because our Constitution, Article 52, it tells that our party president can only be elected by the General Conference, not any other organ. You get my point. So from there, people started the campaigning, not knowing at that time that Honorable Given Mwila had an interest, but he had not paid. That's how now Mwaila decided to go and start working with the UPND and dissolved our party, PF. You recall that that was an illegal conference in that those who went at Mulungushi, 200 police officers were manning that place to make sure that that illegal conference succeeds. And government participated in that. That's how PF was sold. From that time, President Edgar Lungu also decided to come back. So we had factions. From there, Honorable Mwansa, I think other people talked to him. He realized that he was not doing a good thing. So he decided to come back. But everything by that time was lost. That's how now Chavinga took over the party with the support of the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema. That's where we are. As at now, legally, the party belongs to Chavinga. But the structures are with us. Our members have not gone anywhere. They are with us. So when I say that PF is dead, I mean that PF is not with us as a party, but the structures are with us. That's where we are.
Does it hurt you?
It hurts me.
To wake up?
It hurts me.
And know that the party that you struggled with, the party that you held as CEO, is not in your hands anymore.
Yeah, it hurts me. That's why I can't be a friend to Mwansa because he sold the party. He sold the party to UPND. Now he has come back. How do you trust such people?
He said he didn't sell the party.
He sold the party.
What happened was that you delayed. You had announced the date of the General Conference, but you, the Patriotic Front, delayed in holding the General Conference. And so
if we delay the conference, then you have to sell the party.
He didn't sell the party
to
according to you.
He sold the party. That's where we are.
Did he receive money for that?
I don't know.
But why using the word sell if he didn't receive any money?
He betrayed us. He betrayed us. How do you trust such people? He betrayed us. He sold the party. The party is gone. The next step, we made a decision as a party that we go to the General Conference. You get my point?
Before we go to the General Conference, allow me to just write on some of the things that you've mentioned. So initially you said that the reason for why you delayed in having a General Conference was because, yes, people had paid those, monies.
It's the leadership of Honorable Given at that time.
You're mentioning that the reason for why there was a delayment was because he didn't, in the first place, express interest that he wants to contest.
Of course.
And later on, he decides to contest, but at the expense of the party, he delays the holding of the General Conference.
After delay, then Mwansa decided to go with the party. That's how we are in this state.
What's your relationship like with Honorable Given Luminda?
The relationship has been good all along because he found me in the party in 2006.
In your statement, you're saying that Honorable Luminda is as destructive as Honorable.
Of course. I know him better than anyone.
So when you say he's destructive, what do you mean?
He cannot unite the party. You get my point. You will recall that when Sata was president of the party was united. Even President Edgar Chagwalungu, he left the party intact. Look at where we are now. He just wake up, he removes the 10 people without following the constitution. Too many illegalities. He cancels the Central Committee 1 week before the General Conference. How do you decide as an individual alone? Instead of calling the Central Committee so that a decision is made collectively.
You don't think it's doing it in the best interest of the party?
No, not really. Not really. At the rate we are moving, he's not doing the right thing for the party. Our members have been waiting. Our members are anxiously waiting to have a leader so that we move forward. But because Honorable Given Luminda has shown that interest of standing as party president, he doesn't want the General Conference because he can't get any support from anywhere. You get my point. He's bulldozing because he has seen that the other candidates have support than him. Anyway, where can he get the votes from?
You don't think it's popular within the Patriotic?
Where? How do you elect a white man as a president? Which party in Zambia? Which party in Zambia? Look at UPND.
But it's not a white man.
Look at Citizens First.
But it's not a white man.
The father is a white man. You don't know.
But
The father is a Scottish.
Yes, but he's Zambian.
No, Zambian. Is he black like you?
He's Zambian by birth.
No, is he black like you? Let's be serious the way we are doing things. Do you know where he No, wait. I want to ask you, do you know where he originally comes from? Do you know?
You tell me.
Eh?
You tell me.
No, you are disputing, you are saying he's Zambian. When someone wants to stand as president, Haka in the Ichirema, we know that he comes from Mwaila, he comes from Bwengwa. Brian Mundubire, we know that he comes from Mporokoso. Chimbakambwiri, we know that he comes from Mporokoso. Kalava, we know that he comes from Mwansa. Where does he come from? Those are the questions. PF must be serious with what they are doing.
But what qualifies one to be a Zambian president? Must be Zambian, which he's lived in Zambia for more than
He can be a Zambian, but he's not an indigenous Zambian. That's what I'm saying. He's not an indigenous Zambian. What is the difference between him and Guy Scott? What is the difference? Tell me. Tell me.
You know him better, you can tell me.
Tell me. Do you know where he comes from? So Zambians must know where he's coming from. You can't elect a person whom you don't know where he's coming from. Those are the issues that we are raising. We are not trying to be personal, but it's very important. When you are taking someone to the people, people must know where he originally comes from.
So now, you have expressed support for Honorable Makebizu as a candidate you're going to go with, in the General Conference of the Patriotic Front. Is this the correct position?
No. I'm going with Brian Mundubire, not Makebi. I've made it very clear
that you're going with
that Brian is a better candidate.
Do you think there's so many people that have expressed interest to take over the Patriotic Front?
Of course.
And obviously some political analysts have interpreted this as it being the reason for why many people want to be president of the PF is because it's still a very viable vehicle,
of course,
to go with. Don't you think that this delays in having a general conference will negatively impact you as Patriotic Front going into the elections next year? Because we only have about very few months before Parliament is dissolved and for you to go into the next election. Don't you think this will impact you greatly?
I said that our members have been anxiously waiting for us to choose a leader so that we start the campaign. But because of the leadership that we have under given Rwanda, is delaying everything. Because human beings, they will decide where to go if we delay. Because we have only 6 months for us to go for the general election.
Do you think it's enough time for you to mobilize support across the country?
No, time is not with us.
So
time is not with us. This is the right time. If we can't choose a leader in December, I can tell you that we will not win the general election. That's why we are pushing. We want to push for the general conference. The leadership must know that these positions are for the members, and the members want to have a leader so that we can compete with the UPND in the general elections next year.
There was a meeting that was held at the former Vice President's house to ensure that there's unity in the party, and part of the resolution that came out from that meeting you had with Madam Mwila was that you delay the general conference, and it was an agreed upon principle among all the contenders that the general conference must be delayed for you to put the house in order. Do you support that move for the general conference?
Yes, there are two things that were resolved. Mama Inonge Wina emphasized that there must be unity in the party, and advised that all those who were dropped must be reinstated. First and foremost, the constitution was not followed. It was illegal. Secondly, yes, they agreed that we delay the conference, but we have to know the date. When? Because today is 5th. When do we go to the conference? But I've stated clearly that acting president Given Lubinda doesn't want to go to the general conference. He wants to use shortcut for him to be endorsed as a presidential candidate. But that will not work, because once you don't follow the party constitution, Article 52, that will be challenged in court. And not only that, the Republican Constitution is very clear. Inter-party elections. Once you do that, then you qualify to be a presidential candidate. You get my point? You can stand as president. Failure to do that, that can be challenged in court.
There's a court injunction that you've received as a Patriotic Front from Chabinga, from actively doing things of the party, even going as far as issuing letters on headed paper. But also, just from the time that the PF was taken away from you, you know, by Chabinga and Mao Sampa, you have not participated in by-elections as Patriotic Front. You've been using some special, purpose.
Of course, earlier I said that the party has gone.
How has this impacted mobilization for the Patriotic Front, that you can't participate as PF, but you can participate as individuals using...
The party is still strong in the sense that the structures are with us. Even though government or the UPND and Chabinga have taken PF, but we are very strong on the ground.
Do you have confidence?
Of course.
Do you have confidence the judiciary, is going to give you back the power?
No. I want to state here that the PF as a party will not be given to us. We should forget about that. That's why we have to look at Plan B. How do we proceed? How do we participate in the next year's general election? The only thing that we can do is to agree which political party are we going to use, the special purpose vehicle. Once we participate, and people must know that after elections, PF will not be there. Because if we decide to use a socialist party or FDD, if you stand as an MP, you'll be MP on FDD. If you stand as a councillor, you'll be a councillor on FDD. So you don't expect, even if we form government, it will be FDD government, not PF. So the top leadership must realize that talking about PF as a party, it is history now. It's history now. Let's look for a special purpose vehicle.
Do you think many of your party members are still in denial that the party was gotten away from you? Because
no, members are okay. Members are anxiously waiting. The problem is the leadership. The leadership failure. If you can't choose a leader, then there must be something wrong. You get my point? There is a leadership failure. Because by now we're supposed to have elected a leader whom we are supposed to take to Tonse as an alliance. You get my point? But Tonse as an alliance is also waiting. You get my point? Because we are supposed to provide a candidate ourselves. If we can't provide, then Tonse is stuck. That's where we are. So I'm appealing to the top leadership to make sure that we elect a leader this month. Failure to do that,
you lose elections. Let's talk about one of the things that was very pronounced when President Edgar Lungu came out of retirement and joined active politics was Plan B. That you people have got Plan B.
Yes.
But from where I see it, it doesn't look like you are people with Plan B, because we are 6 months into the next election and it appears as if though we are still talking about Plan B.
Plan B was supposed to come from President Edgar Lungu, who was president of the party at that time. You get my point? He was supposed to give us a candidate. He died without giving us a candidate. That's where we are. So the leadership that has remained under Given Lubinda, we have to go to the general conference and elect a leader. Whatever party that we are going to use, whether we use FDD, we use the CF, whether we use the Socialist Party, that's the way to go.
Are you officially unveiling that the actual plan B was actually Edgar Lungu revealing a candidate?
First, I've told you that we just have to use the SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle. Once we elect someone, we have to take him to a Special Purpose Vehicle as our candidate.
As a candidate.
Then we proceed. Failure to do that.
Also, do you think that the time that has remained, that among the top leaders that you have, if one is elected, aren't you scared as a Patriotic Front that you don't have enough time for healing to ensure that everyone that is going, the rest of the people that are going to lose, come on board and support this one candidate that the party?
No, that's the way PF is. We fight. But at the end of the day, once we elect one, we come together and fight and move forward. That's the way we are.
Would it be acceptable to you if Honorable Mwila is selected as president?
Me, I have no problem. That's what people want. That's democracy.
And you
because PF, I can support, but I cannot support him if he uses hand-hand method without following the constitution. That I cannot support him. Yes.
Let's talk about the elections of next year. The UPND, number one, are stating that they've got no hand whatsoever in what is happening in the Patriotic Front. The president has been on record, the vice president has been on record, ministers have been on record that what is happening in your party is as a result of the confusion caused by your party members, and not the president and not the vice president, but it's your party members that have caused this confusion. And so it would be completely unfair for you to blame the UPND for your failure as a Patriotic Front to hold the party together. They had been in opposition for over 21 years, but they held the party together. You've been in opposition as well.
Why we are convinced that President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND have a hand in what is going on? First thing is the illegal convention that was held at Mulungushi. It provided 200 police officers. I have never seen any convention where you can provide 200 police officers. It's to protect the Mao Sampa and his people. Secondly, when Sampa decided to move out, the party was given to Chabinga by the same government, UPND. If you go to the Registrar of Societies, Mao Sampa is no longer there. It is Chabinga who is there. So it's the UPND who are doing all these maneuvers. So we are very much aware.
Mao Sampa says you're the last person to talk about this issue because you, Honorable Davies Mwila, are the one that made the PF lose the election. This is what Mao Sampa is saying, that you made the PF literally lose the elections. You are at the heart of the party, and you gave, for example, adoption certificates to unpopular candidates that lost the elections. When people blame you for the loss of the elections for the Patriotic Front, do you accept that? Do you take responsibility that the party lost the elections because of you?
I agree with you that I handed over the certificates, but I didn't adopt people. The chairman of the Central Committee is president. I'm just the SG. To report to the Central Committee that, for example, in Lusaka Central, we have 5 people that have applied, and these are the recommendations. Then they debate, including Mao Sampa is in that meeting, Honorable Jean Kapata is in that meeting. So it's a collective decision. So once you lose government collectively. Because I don't want to start blaming other people that they are the ones who caused. Because I've too many issues that I can talk about. You get my point. I can also say that, yes, Honorable Jean Kapata, you contributed to our loss. How did you allow people to go and share land at Forest 27? They shared land. How did you allow, despite government making a ban on export of mukula, how did you allow people to export mukula? Let's not give excuses because we lost power. No, we lost power collectively.
And all of you must take responsibility for that.
Of course, all of us. All of us. Who else wants to lose power? Who else? Yes.
What is happening now is something very peculiar.
Yes.
The UPND said that they have worked hard and they've fixed the economy. They came on the campaign promise of fixing the economy. According to official reports that we're getting, is that they've done over 90% of their campaign promises. What does the Patriotic Front feel about how the UPND is governing this country?
From 1991 to today, we had presidents or governments, but I can tell you that UPND performance has been worse off than any other government. We had Rupia Banda, we had Mwanawasa, but they've not done what they were supposed to do. They've not fulfilled the promises that they made. Because they said that we are going to reduce minimum to 50 kwacha. We left minimum at 140 to 150. We left fuel at around 17. Fuel, petrol is around 30 kwacha. Have they reduced? They said the dollar will come to 10 kwacha. Have they done that? The dollar is around 23 kwacha plus. So they said the fertilizer will come down to 250. And they're even boasting that they've reduced the price of fertilizer to 750. They should reflect what they said. So as we go to the campaign, they have to explain to the Zambian people on what they've done, because the Zambian people know that the UPND government has failed. Lamentably.
They argue that you left a broken economy. You left an economy that was in ICU. You left debt that was in excess of over 18 billion United States dollars. That is external debt. And one of the things that they began doing as they came into office was to begin to dismantle the state. They went to the IMF for a program, and they managed to restructure Zambia's debt and enter into a program, with the IMF. But also, you speak of fuel that you left at 17 kwacha. The argument is that you never used to pay these oil marketing companies, and you had debt in excess of millions of United States. In fact, they say the figure is over 800 million US dollars, and so you made people live a fake economy and a borrowed economy that was full of debt. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, I agree that we never paid, but the fact is that we left fuel at 17. If they've been paying, why is the fuel at 30 kwacha? And if you look at the economic indicators, because look at the exchange rate, where we are and where we were 4 years ago. Ask them, where have they done any road in Luapula? The answer is no. Have they done any road in Northern Province? The answer is no.
You failed to do what they've done.
As we did the roads, despite us borrowing, we constructed hospitals, we constructed schools, we built roads.
You had been attempting.
And not only that, they condemned us that as we were borrowing. Are they not borrowing?
Not at the rate that you borrow?
No. You know where we are in terms of the debt as a country. You know where we are.
Well,
if they are the economic managers, why is it that the debt has gone up?
But well, they've put in safe measures like the public.
Which safe measures? People are suffering.
Like the Public Management, Act, the Public Debt Management Act that allows for Parliament to approve debt before the executive gets to contract debt. But also, I would like to get your comments on one of the campaign promises. I looked at the bulletin of the Patriotic Front. One of the things that you promised to do was to enter into an agreement with IMF. That was your campaign promise as Patriotic Front, which they have managed to do so. So you don't think they must be commended for debt restructuring?
No, I can't. Because in the sense that our Zambian people, the citizens, are suffering. The economic situation in this country is very bad. People can't survive. Even you yourself, to buy a bag of breakfast medium, it's not easy. The economy is bad. Things are very expensive. Ordinary Zambians, they cannot manage. If us, like me who worked for 32 years, I'm complaining, what about an ordinary worker who gets 2,000, 3,000 kwacha? So the economy is not doing fine.
How did you do it as Patriotic Front for things to be much more easier? And what advice would you give the UPND? Because according to you, you make it sound like we're coming from a place where things were much more easier than they are today. What did you do?
If you look at where we are, that's why a PF has not died. Because it's the UPND who have made us strong. Because the promises that they made, they've not fulfilled. And now the Zambian people are making comparisons. Which is a better party, UPND or government or the PF government? The Zambians are resolved to say that PF were better than the UPND, looking at how the economy is as at now and the way it was 4 years ago.
One of the things that the UPND speak about when they speak about the Patriotic Front was that you made people get used to what President Hakainde Hichilema calls tantameni. Says in the Patriotic Front, there was tantameni, people never used to work, there used to be money all over, cadres having US dollars and some of them burning money because the party, the Patriotic Front, used to be so rich than the government that you had so much money, Honorable Davies Mwila, that you have to give, you are giving your cadres. And that's why there are so many videos of people burning money because there's so much that they could get, from you. What do you make of this philosophy that the president says that, look, now there's no tantameni, you have to work. It's not like the PF where when you go to the secretariat you'll be given money, but now you have to work.
That's an insult. Are you saying that under PF people were not working? People were working. People were working. And this issue of saying that we were dishing out money, how do you dish out money? Where was it coming from? Me, I'm not aware of that arrangement. People used to work, and things were easier under the PF government. Things are hard under the UPND government. That's the difference.
I think so.
President Hakainde doesn't tell the truth. Even when he's talking, he must be truthful that the economy is not doing fine and something must be done. Because he promised that he is an economic manager. What has he done? And I agree with Honorable Chimbakambwidi that the whole entire world, economists, they don't perform well. Lawyers, they do better. They are good managers. Yes.
What about the tantameni?
Which tantameni? Which I'm not aware of. Because I was SG to manage the party, not to give out money. You are
engaged in illegal activities. You, as Honorable Davies Mwila, your cadres were engaged in illegal activities. They used to collect monies at bus stations, and this money used to come to your office as Secretary General that used to run the party. Is that true?
It's not true. You just have to look at the vehicles that I drive. You get my point. Those it's the vehicles that I got from Parliament as an MP, as loan. I'm not all that. I'm not rich. Yes, I can eat in the morning and in the evening, but I'm not rich. and no one was bringing money to the office of the Secretary General. You think under President Hakainde Hichilema, if the money was coming to my office, I can be here? You think I can be here? Very innocent man. Very innocent man. And you know, I'm a disciplined person. Because I am coming from the mines where we were told that we have to be disciplined. And also, I worked with Michael Chirufya-Sata, who was also disciplined.
How, one of your postmortem report as a Patriotic Front shows that one of the reasons that you lost power or you lost elections was because of hooliganism, and you allowed for cadreism as a party. How didn't you as Secretary General manage to, why didn't you manage to, to bring down the levels of cadreism? Did you entertain this as Secretary General?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
It was under your watch.
I tried my best.
You tried.
I tried my best.
It was under your watch when it was happening.
If you look at under the UPND, they promised that there will be no cadreism. But if you look at the trend, how they are coming out insulting people, to me, the way our cadres were behaving and how they are behaving now, it's all the same. There is no difference. But I tried my best.
Others commend you that the cadres of the PF were much more empowered than the cadres of the UPND. They say that the cadres of the UPND are hungry, but you fed your cadres, and you fed your cadres through illegality. You allowed as SG for your cadres to collect levies in bus stations, in markets, so that they could eat.
You know, it's like in a family, in your home, you have 10 children. Not all of them will be perfect. You may have 1 or 2 people who will be disgruntled. Even in the party, some were disgruntled. They can go to intercity and get money.
But why didn't you fire them? Why didn't you take action against them?
No, my position was too high. Because how do you fire an ordinary member at intercity? You get my point. The provincial committees were reporting to me. So you have the structure, you have the branch, you have the ward, you have the constituents, you have the district, you have the province. So you don't expect an ordinary member to report to me. Yes, but I tried my best.
The allegations that the candidate you're supporting, Brian Mwaila, is a UPND puppet. Has this information reached you?
It's not true. Brian has been a leader of the opposition, has been fighting the UPND for the last 4 years. That's propaganda. That's propaganda within ourselves, because other candidates, they don't have support that Brian Mundubire has. Very, very clean. That's what I know. Very credible.
Do you think he's got the capacity to win your election?
Of course. He'll bring the vote on the table than given Luvinda. He will bring the votes on the table. That's one of the criteria that we'll have to use as a party. You can't bring someone on the table who cannot bring the votes. No, then you are killing yourself. So Brian will bring the votes.
The others have described the UPND as a one-term government.
Of course.
And that 2026 kuya webele. Historically, we've not had a situation where a party serves only one term, but also historically we don't have a system where a former ruling party bounces back, into office. And in fact, some opinion polls say that we are better being hungry under the UPND than being beaten and going back to vomit under the Patriotic Front. What do you have to say about
that? Under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, I can tell you that he will be the first person just to rule for one term. That will happen because of failure to fulfill the promises that they made to the Zambian people. That's the only thing. And they've been saying that there's no opposition. No, the opposition is the people. So if the people are hungry, people cannot feed their children, they are the ones who are going to make a decision next year.
Do you think that is going to be easy with the machinery that the UPND have, with, you know, do you think that is
if the Zambian people says, Kuya bebe, they will go. If the Zambian people says they are not going, they will not go. But looking at the way things are moving, I can guarantee you that UPND is going. And they have to pack. They have to prepare themselves for exit.
It's good you're saying that you're of the considered view that this, you know, the UPND it's an interesting view that you give there. But the people are asking then who? You know, they're saying that, okay, yes, probably the UPND have failed, but there's no person who's presented themselves that the people have accepted to, you know, to support. The opposition right now is in disarray. You have not chosen one person that you're going to support.
First and foremost, the voters have decided that UPND must go. They've decided. No question about it.
What measure are you using to say that they've decided?
They've decided.
What measure are you using to say they've decided?
That's what is prevailing on the ground. They've decided. All what is remaining is for us to come up with a candidate, a better candidate. Once we agree on the candidate, that will be the end for UPND, I can assure you.
As we conclude, the new Congress Party has left the Tonse Alliance, which is a party that you've been using as the Patriotic Front as a special purpose vehicle. Are you able to give us a hint? Are you able to give the country a hint to where possibly the country must be looking to in terms of, you know, who among these other opposition political parties are going to use? In asking that question, others are of the considered view that if you're going to use a party that is very little known, chances are that it's going to be very hard to sell, even when you have a good candidate. Others have suggested that perhaps you must use parties that have participated in past elections, like the Socialist Party. What do you have to say about that?
I said that we have the structures. Whatever special purpose vehicle that we are going to arrive at, it's a matter of moving the structures to the new political party. And I can tell you that we are going to win the elections. I'm very confident. But as the Tonse Alliance, there are also many political parties like FGD that we can use. That possibility is there.
Your concluding remarks?
No, I just want to appeal to the members of our party to remain calm, and also to appeal to the leadership that we have to unite our party as we go to the general elections. Because once we are united, it will be easier to kick out the UPND from government.
Honorable Davies Mwila, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.